Even if you're not an influencer, if you have 0 followers, if you have like no social media presence, like talk about this, post videos about this, share your experience. You need to be talking to the people around you and informing them, because we're kind of at a really dangerous point where you can trust a lot of the news sources, that's true, but a lot of people are being very easily brainwashed by a lot of crazy stuff. So start talking about what you're actually noticing, the ways that you're being affected, what it's done for your job, what it's done for your groceries, how much your groceries cost, what you're feeling, like anything that you're feeling, you need to be talking about this. You need to get people educated and informed. My name is Ansley, and these are my friends at the Boredwalk podcast, Tess and Gabe. So if you didn't know anything about us, we obviously have very strong opinions probably about what's happening with the current regime. And so I'm really excited for today's episode, because today we're actually going to be answering the questions that are like, what can I do? What can I do? I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm screaming underwater. I already voted. There's things that you can do in order to help end what is happening before 4 years is up, because we gotta get that guy out of office. We are all gonna die otherwise. So the first thing I'm gonna say is I've been making videos on my own TikTok kind of about what's happening with the maximum security prison, how it's essentially a death camp, it's a concentration camp, we're avoiding due process, everything that's wrong with it, how we're literally breaking the Constitution and being illegal by sending people there with no due process. And the first comments I get from a lot of people are like, this is the first time hearing about it. So if you're listening to our podcast, if you have paid attention to any of our content, if you're paying attention to the news, the number one thing you need to be doing is talking about it. Educating everyone around you, talking to your communities. The spread of misinformation is insane, but statistics, they're not really lying. And the American people aren't like making this up. We're not pulling this out of our asses, right? Like, I would love to be wrong. I would love to have made this all up.
I think also to that point, like, some people genuinely just don't know, and it's because of the way that algorithms work. Like, if you're not a person who actively seeks out news, maybe you skip political content frequently, and that's just not the kind of content that you consume, then, like, that sort of information's probably not popping up on your page, and you probably just don't know about it.
And even so, like, all my content that is specifically political is so suppressed. Like, it's being shared a lot, it's being commented on a lot, it's being saved a lot, and it's still like very low views, which lets me know that Meta, TikTok, anything is essentially suppressing it because they don't want us to fear monger. They don't want us to spread mass panic.
I mean, like, I think about, like, you know, the insurrection on January 6th, 2021. So many people in this current election of 2024, they just didn't know, or they're like, it's whatever. It's because obviously certain outlets, right-wing media, made an effort of downplaying what was actually done. Oh no, we didn't beat those cops. We didn't break into the Capitol. We didn't bring zip ties. We didn't build gallows, on the lawn before the Capitol as if we were going to hang elected officials because they didn't do what we wanted. Like, those are things that a lot of people did not catch. There's way more along the way in terms of like legislation, policies that have been proposed, laws that have been passed, things that the administration or the regime have done. And it really is like, it's information overload. And like, if anyone, knows Steve Bannon, the method that he has, and he talks about actively, is flood the zone, which is like just over and over and over again of just like information overload, where there's so much that you either can't figure out what to focus on in the courts or in the news or whatever it is, and it's all by design, so that you get overwhelmed, you give up, you go, well, it's just like
someone else will understand more than
me.
Right,
or like, someone else will do it or whatever it is, and it's like, no, that is not what's going to happen. It really does rely on everyday people, and when people are like, they're an activist or whatever, it's like, I'm just an average Joe in the middle of the Midwest. And it's like, anyone and everyone can be an activist. You don't have to show up to rallies or protests. If you can't, that's fine. But just sharing videos, just commenting on them, making sure that your family is aware of stories that are going on in El Salvador, or whether it's coming into the economy, or wanting to pay women $5,000 to $6,000 for having a child,
babies,
when we won't even give them the
$10,000 you get awarded if you report a woman having an abortion. Do you see the issue? Like, sorry.
No, I would. Yeah, I mean, like that exactly. And like, we just don't. It is always, when you think of what they want to do, there is hypocrisy on the complete other end of what they always are doing, right? They say that they're Christians, but really we know that they want to deport people who have, darker or more melanin in their skin. They don't want to give them due process. They want to, they're taking our jobs, whatever it might be, and then they have no means of actually providing a solution. And so when they're like, oh yeah, we're going to pay women $5,000 or whatever dollars to have children, when we are trying to defund and close Planned Parenthoods, we don't give them resources like neonatal care or whatever it is. We don't give them the benefits of taking maternity leave, whatever it might be. Like when you look at
$5,000 doesn't even cover the delivery of the baby.
Right.
Gives you nothing.
It literally is nothing. Like to have a baby, I saw a video, someone tallied it all up, and to have their baby, it was $14,000.
Yeah.
Their baby got charged a residence fee in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like,
and so you see them and they're like, oh, well, they want to give them $5,000. Great. Okay. Well, what else are they doing? Because this is a distraction to make it look like they're doing something.
it's also self-serving because our birth rate's declining. So this is what they're doing to try to entice. It's more capitalism. It's more capitalism. It's more control. Like, it's a straw man. It's not.
Well, it's not only
real.
it's not only that, but it's also like the idea that like, oh, well, who are going to be people who are more willing to have children right now, right? And their idea is like, well, we're afraid of this great replacement theory that non-white people are getting breeded out or bred out.
Oh no!
And so you got people like Tucker Carlson, Elon Musk, and RFK Jr. All these people that are making up shit, creating fear mongering. You've got RFK Jr. saying that 68-year-old men have more testosterone than men today, younger men today, which is like, okay. First off, not true. Don't know where you came up with that shit.
That's his way of saying he has individually counted more than 10 men's sperm count, and I'll let you guess how.
Stories like this, they get swept under until they either get passed or something happens where everyone's like, oh my God. And so when you hear about, the 50-51, the hands-off protests, people sharing stories or getting covered in the news, like those are big things how you can combat. Those are big things how you can push back and inform and educate, because that is the number one thing that they fear the most, is having an educated opinion and having knowledge about what's going on and not just regurgitating the bullshit. I mean, you got fucking Tim Pool in the press room now. And these people are like, oh, well, Zelensky didn't wear a suit in the Oval Office. And then you got Tim Pool wearing a fucking beanie in a hoodie like he's going to go see an Eminem rap
Vance
battle.
Didn't even wear a suit when he went to Greenland. So
Yeah.
it's just like, so be talking about it, be staying updated. Like, stay updated with the news, maybe have contradicting news sources so you can kind of see what right-wing media looks like and what left-wing media looks like, and just, like, be paying attention, because, like, 75% of people that are in this maximum security El Salvador prison, they don't have a criminal record. There's no criminal record. There's no documentation of them ever committing a crime, and there's no due process. So while the world is telling you these are violent gang-raping criminals, there's no proof. There is nothing they can do. And so you just need to be talking and paying attention, because, like, we're sliding into fascism. Like, we are. They're kidnapping people off the street in unmarked vehicles with no identification. They're doing that. Yeah. We're seeing it happen.
They want to make
people
registries.
Aren't aware of that.
Right. And
Pay attention. Like, just be talking about it. And on the other side of that, if you know someone that was a MAGA or is conservative or is Republican, and this also helps, that has changed their opinion about Donald Trump and the administration, or the regime as we've been calling it, encourage them to speak up, because the issue now is our country is so divided that even though the left the whole time has been like, yeah, this is going to be bad for all of us, the right wouldn't listen because the left was saying it. So now we're in this contradicting position where it's like, well, the house is divided and we're falling. Like, this country is failing, and industries are failing, economies are failing, families are failing, everything is falling apart. And so if you know someone who has changed their world perspective, get them to speak up, because obviously the left opinion does not matter to the other side. So as much as we'd love to sit here and, like, find common ground, like, we've been trying, you need to encourage people who can share brain cells with these thoughtless idiots and get them to see reason, because apparently using actual fact and statistic and personal experience isn't going to do anything. It needs to personally affect them. So they need to see people on their side who get it and who can speak to their Republican experience. Encourage them to speak up. It's needed. It's necessary. It's time. The time for silence is long gone, my friends. It's time to stand up. Say something. Another thing that you can do if you think talking about it, posting videos, is you can make calls to your lawmakers. You can show up to town halls. You need to be verbalizing your opinion. So if you're calling your lawmakers, there's 5calls.org. It makes it incredibly easy to call your lawmakers. And if you do that, like, do it maybe bi-weekly if you can, every 2 weeks. Like, just get out there and let them know that you are paying attention and you are angry, because that is the thing this party thrives off of, is our ignorance and our lack of ability to move. So be calling your lawmakers, be speaking up, make sure that you are showing up at town halls, and like, even if it feels like nothing is happening, like, someone could record it and it goes viral. Someone might see this and that goes viral. And the thing is we need to get this approval rating below 30%. If we do that, there's a very high guarantee that he will have to be impeached. Have to. Because nobody can stand behind that. Like, so we got to be using our voices collectively. There's no right, there's no left, there's no right, there's no wrong. Like, well, there is very much a wrong, but we need to be uniting, like, as a people today, right now. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you voted for him. I care that we get him out. Of course I care if you voted, but you're getting what I'm saying. Yeah.
But also, there's a lot of these stories too, where they, these town halls, and I mean, like, the GOP strategy right now is just to not have a town hall. And if they do have a town hall, and you happen to show up and you say something that they don't like, I mean, I just watched a video the other day of someone getting tased. I watched a video the other day of another person getting dragged out. You know, Republicans, GOP, MAGA, whatever, they love to scream that it's like First Amendment, freedom of speech. I have the right to say whatever I want to say. Well, as soon as you say something that they don't agree with, they're going to take you away. And that isn't hyperbole. That isn't like an exaggeration. It's literally happening right now.
It's being filmed, which is another important thing.
Yeah.
If you see something, film it. Because we're at a point where media is a lie. Your personal experience is a lie. Like, even if you're telling someone, here's my personal testimony about how this has impacted me, they're going to be like, okay, prove it. So if you're seeing something that you're like, I don't really like that, record it. It's the most powerful tool that we as average citizens have, because it makes it inexcusable. The spread of information is so valuable and so potent, especially with apps that are trying to get banned in the United States of America. So if you see something and you're like, the world needs to see this, do not be shy. If you have an experience that you think the world needs to hear, do not be shy. Like, this is the time to bring a mirror to America and be like, this is what's happening. It's not violent gang criminals, it's your next door neighbors. It's not homegrowns are next. It is the dude you work with at the cashier who might have had like a felony charge when he was 15. Like, these are things that will affect everyone. And if they haven't affected you, it's just because it hasn't yet. So wake up, be angry, use your voices. It's all we can do right now. And like, make politicians afraid again, guys.
Yeah.
There are so many more of us than there have ever been of them. They're people in big suits that don't have personal experience with what's actually happening, and they're making laws for people. This country was not built by billionaires. It was built by revolutionaries. It was built by people who were willing to fucking pour tea into harbors to prove a point. We are still the ancestors of those people. It still lives in us. Wake up, fight back. This country was built on rebellion. Do not fail it. So you should be calling your lawmakers using 5calls.org. And I know a lot of the reasons people don't is because, well, my lawmaker is Republican, or my lawmaker won't do anything. And the thing is people think Donald Trump and MAGA, they think there's so much more of them than there actually is. It's about 11%, I think, is actually like hardcore MAGA. And Donald Trump is just one guy. So the thing is we need to stop our lawmakers from being scared of Donald Trump. They need to be afraid of us. So call them, bully them, push them, because these lawmakers, they have the ability to impeach. They have the ability to do what we need them to do, and they will not do it unless they feel the peer pressure.
I mean, look no further than Nancy Mace, right? She was at an Alta in a
I saw this.
South Carolinian constituent from her area was 8 feet away and had the phone and was filming in hand and asked. The only question was, when will you have another town hall, or when will you have a town hall this year? And she got incredibly defensive. She started saying, "F you're a crazy leftist," all this stuff. And he's like, I just asked you a question.
And
the question hasn't changed.
this.
And she recorded it. And then she was like, look at what I did. I stood up to this lunatic in Daisy Duke shorts. Like, first off, they were not Daisy Duke shorts.
They were mid-thigh, at least.
And secondly, the idea that you're an elected representative. You're supposed to be representing the people, and your immediate reaction is to swear at them, attack them, and then say, I voted for gay marriage twice. Yeah. Okay, that's not how we identify with our whole personality and identity. So when you have these people like Nancy Mace or Lauren Boebert or Marjorie Taylor Greene or whoever these people are, they don't want to show up to these town halls because they're afraid. Because here's the thing. The greatest fear they have is that Donald Trump is going to say, I'm going to primary you. And they will find another MAGA chud to go in their place and regurgitate the same things that he wants them to say. And to the point that you made is like, if there's enough people who instills this fear to say, do your job or else, it's going to then get them to kind of second guess. Maybe they're like, yeah, you know what, this isn't worth it. And then someone else comes in who actually has democratic, pro-American policies and ideas that they actually want to implement to, I don't know, make our fucking lives better, reduce the price of groceries, reduce greedflation, all of these things. And if we don't stand up, if we don't say something, we don't record, we don't, hit post online, nobody's going to know about these things. And they're just going to think that it's just like whatever, life is what it is, and things kind of pass by, and they're not aware of these little things that happen, because these little things build up. And it's definitely, I think we're hitting a boiling point where there's also this 3.5% theory, which is if you get 3.5% of the population in a region or country to actually protest, you can change the tide. You can actually turn things around where you get enough people activated to say, enough's enough. We're not going to go through this shit again. And so, yeah, MAGA, they're loud and they're obnoxious.
So obnoxious.
And they're in the wrong, but they're a small percent. They're 11%.
They just are really good at uniting. So let that be a symbol to you guys that if MAGA can do it, we definitely can. And we can do it a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm. I understand people being like, unless my lawmaker is maybe on the fence one way or the other, it doesn't matter if I call them. But I would also add, even if you live in a blue state, even if you have Democrat lawmakers, still call them, still bother them, because they need to know that they have to do something. Because even if they are Democrats and are opposing Trump, that doesn't mean they're going to do anything. So
this is
pressure
the opportunity to be the most obnoxious version of yourself you have ever been for the right things.
I would even say, don't just call your representative if you live in a blue district. Call another state, call another city, call those people and get a hold of their office, leaving, sure, you could say you live in their area. What doesn't matter? But the point is getting attention and complaining to say that this isn't right. Because I guarantee there are probably other people who live in that area who feel the same way and just aren't maybe feeling up to calling. And it's your voice that could make a huge difference to make sure that those people, those representatives, are held accountable. Because right now, they're all running. They don't want to hear from people who have any sort of opposing opinion. They just don't want to do their job. They don't want to do the job that they were elected to do. And
Which is crazy.
It's our job, collectively, to hold them accountable to do their job. We have to be the babysitter.
Speak up, share information, record, see something, say something, call your lawmakers. This is the time to remember America's roots and what we are built on. And we are built on the backs of immigrants and the back of rebellion. So remember that. Every single person that is here is someone that matters, and we have to speak up for people that can't speak up for themselves right now. This is a crucial time.
Is a human being, and this is what is so up and gross about it to me. It's even if this person did commit a crime and is here illegally, they deserve to have food and water and be treated in some sort of humane way. I don't understand. I don't know.
That's
it's so evil.
A lot from
people
MAGA.
who are they're a criminal and they're illegal. Yeah, well, they're still a person, and torturing someone is really weird, and being okay with it.
Even look at MAGA, right? They beat cops. They smeared their own shit on the walls of the Capitol. They destroyed property inside a federal building, and you know what they got? They got due process. They were able to get,
and that's for sure illegal.
Yeah.
We know for sure that's illegal. You know what we don't know is illegal? If any of those people were actually we don't know. We don't know because there's no anything. So use your voices, speak up, talk to your friends, encourage your MAGA, conservative, Republican friends who've changed their mind to speak up. Their voices are so important right now. Like, we need you. We need us. We need to unite. Like, this is not something that is going to be done by the left. This is not something that's going to be done by the right. Like, this takes the American people that live here, that pay taxes here, who reside here, who want to work here, who just exist. Speak up. Raise your voices. We can do this. I promise you. I promise you. Okay. Our comment today is kind of comedic. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
So it's from Marty Paradiso, and he says, "You libtards on the West Coast are more than welcome to join Canada. The rest of us will be fine without you." This makes me laugh because California is the 4th biggest economy in the world. Do you know who pays for the poor red states? California. So if we leave, we're taking your funding with us. So if you can talk to your daddy Trump in the office and ask him to let us go, we'd love that. Love it. We're moving on to a review. And this review is left on our activity book for 90s kids. And CP says, "Great for when you need to unplug from electronics and take a walk down memory lane." So I just wanted to encourage you guys, if you need a reason to like spark joy or just like find some sanity or some semblance of it, put your phone down, pick up an activity book. You can get it at boredwalk.com. We have several different varieties. There is a Bloodthirsty Witches and other ones. There is 90s with the dystopian. We have varieties, and there's something for everyone. For our audio listeners, to our Delve Deck portion of the podcast, where we open up our Delve decks. There are 3 decks. There is Venting, Original, and Joy. And we read a question, and we always wrap up with Joy, since this podcast usually makes us far too aware of how miserable we all are.
I will start.
Go ahead.
with a
I
vent.
have the Venting edition for those of you who are not watching but listening. And the question is, what do you wish you had known sooner?
I wish I had known sooner that it is okay to believe in yourself and follow your dreams, because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wish I knew specifically for the industry that there really aren't any rules, and especially with the way it's going right now, like, just do what's right for you, because there's so many copies of everything that it's like, if you have a story you want to tell, just tell it. If you have a short film you want to make, just like make it. Like, there's no rules. You're not going to get blacklisted. Nobody cares that much about you in like a good way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I would.
I think Mark Duplass said a good. He and his brother are very much on that. Like, we're just gonna scrape this stuff together. We're gonna make this indie film. And that's how they got started. And he gave a speech. I forget when it was, but he was like, "The cavalry is not coming.
We say that in my class all the time. That's
You
like my
are
saying.
the cavalry.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna show up for you, so you have to show up for yourself and make it a thing."
Oh, I said believe in yourself, follow your dreams. I feel like it's similar. Like, I feel like I just sort of believed that it was like, oh, well, there's a certain like path that you're supposed to do, and at some point you need to stop like being immature and like just like go get a real job, like and
No, you
I
can
don't
sustain
know.
yourself
And
without
it's
being
like,
a movie star.
yeah, you can do things that make you happy. You don't have to be miserable.
You may not be rich, but you will be
Yeah.
happy.
I wish I had known earlier that I could and should say no.
What is the best thing anyone has ever said to you?
Somebody was like, "Oh man, that thing you did, hilarious."
Yeah.
Or like that joke, which, you know, maybe I read some joke or whatever, and something I'm doing, and I'm like, "That's a dumb joke," and I found that funny, and that was just more of like a me thing. And then someone's like, "Huh, that was good," and I'm like, "It's
So validation.
it's just like look, we thrive on it. Okay."
Do you guys have praise kinks? Be honest.
I mean, I
Don't
love
answer every single person.
Yeah.
If a stranger is willing to approach you in person and come up to you and tell you, like, "Oh my God, you are so funny," like, that's the best thing that could
I'm
happen.
going
I'm
to
gonna
bed
have
happy.
the biggest attitude tomorrow. Nobody
Um,
can say anything.
Fine.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
that
walking
is
in
all
that
I
coffee
need.
shop.
So my acting coach a few weeks ago in class was talking about motivating and how he doesn't think he's the best at motivating. And then he said, but when Ansley speaks, I think people would follow her into battle. And that made me feel really good about myself for a number of reasons, because I really do like to encourage people, but also knowing that you have like a certain chutzpah to your voice that like makes people want to stand up.
All right, let's end on some joy. And the question is, what food could you eat every day without getting tired of it?
Maybe like a crisp dill pickle, but even then I need a break. Like I can't, I have weird food aversions. Like I can, like if I, like chicken, if it's crunchy, I can't have, like obviously no one should have crunchy chicken, but like, you know, when you bite a tendon, like I can't eat chicken anymore. Sometimes there's nothing that is safe for me every day. Maybe a burger. I always love a burger.
Like smash burger?
Yeah, it's just like, what do you...
Love a smash burger.
Because I feel like I would do either... I have a few... I think ultimately it would probably be... I guess does it have to be a specific food or like a type of food? Because like a burger, you could do so many different things with it.
Yeah.
And I would pick like tacos or a burrito or something like that, like something Mexican, because like I could eat Mexican food every day and you can have different things in it.
That's a good point.
So
You're
welcome. Thank you, Gabe.
It's because I'm Mexican.
Just in case.
In case anyone didn't know.
So yours is a burger,
I would probably
maybe?
say like a burger variety.
Yeah.
You'd say Mexican food?
Yeah, and I'm trying to debate if I want taco or burrito, and I might go burrito.
I think
Man, it's like I feel like I'm always between like sushi, pizza, and like tacos, burritos.
sushi. Oh, that would have been a good one to pick.
I just feel like it's like those three. I'm always like, is there someone who's ever done all three together in a meal? Because
Yes, me.
In a meal?
No,
or
like-
you mean like as a combo?
Yeah,
like you're talking about like what, sushi Rito, but also there's a pizza wrapped around
Yes.
it?
Oh no, not
like
me.
I've had sushi Ritos. Those are great. I'm getting 2/3 the way there, but I want to figure out how the pizza component, like a calzone on top of the sushi Rito, or
Like an
sushi-
empanada sushi burrito.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe the pizza has to be inside
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sushi burrito.
If I could have like, I don't know if it's like a pizza with the toppings are sushi and then it's wrapped in. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I am so disgusted.
I am just saying. They each serve their own purpose, but my go-to, and it could be because of growing up, or it could be because of living in LA. I would definitely like street tacos, like a good street taco. The permutations of like different types of main parts of it, and then the toppings, and then the salsas and everything. Yeah, I go ham on it all the time.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We love you guys so much. Remember to raise your voices, speak up, call your lawmakers. Raise up!
Rise up.
When you're living on your knees,
you rise up.
But seriously, use your voices, call your lawmakers, educate your communities, and encourage MAGA and Republicans and former Trump supporters to speak up and speak out. And we love you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with us. Okay, goodbye, y'all.